The funny thing about Ultimate Frisbee, particularly my college team, is that most people seem to want to date another Frisbee person. As a straight girl, I've found that the odds are pretty good when seeking a partner. However, the goods are pretty odd. At the time of writing this, I find myself in a committed relationship with a non-Frisbee player. This relationship was spawned out of dating apps and the pandemic, and it's going well, and I'm happy. He's taken me to his coworker's family's Nantucket house, where I'm surrounded by people who don't know what a scuba is. Here, Frisbee is a niche interest that I have, something that makes me unique, a conversation at the dinner table. Not a part of my personality, as I've embraced as a part of the Frisbee team at school. My boyfriend, caring and sweet as he is, will throw a Frisbee with me, and I get to work on chasing down the disc, as his accuracy is needing a lot of work. He's a lefty, so I haven't tackled teaching him a proper flick yet. In my time on dating apps, swiping and judging people based off of material metrics, I realized two things. One, I was always excited about Frisbee boys and always swiped right. And two, I received a devastating amount of Frisbee-related pickup lines from the number of boys that I matched with. I had an idea. Research, if you will, on my quest to answer a question that has plagued me for all the years that I've played Ultimate. Why do we all want a FRIS-BAE? I hatched a plan. Pockets and I hadn't even officially gotten the podcast gig yet, and we were just writing episodes to pitch to Charlie in hopes of him picking up our show. I figured I'd get my initial research out of the way, compile data, and draw conclusions from later on. I reopened my deleted Tinder account and crafted the perfect profile to attract the maximum number of matches. A nice picture to draw contestants in, a bikini picture to keep them interested, followed by a Frisbee picture, and another Frisbee picture. Anyway, the most important part of the profile was the bio. Hit me with your best ultimate pickup line. I poured a glass of wine or four and I swiped right on everyone within my 30-mile radius. Albany, New York Tinder did not disappoint. All right. Hello, Pockets. Now that I've introduced my absolutely insane project, let's get into the whole Frisbee dating relationships idea that has been spawned in my head. I think the biggest observation, that I had acting as a pseudo Carrie Bradshaw is just that it's funny that it seems like everyone on Frisbee teams seems to want to date each other. And that's where I originated this episode. And I ran a poll on the Laying It Out Twitter. Any of our followers may have seen it. And we had some interesting results for sure. The first question.
Well, first I want to point out, you said that we think that everyone seems to want a Fris-BAE, as you're saying. I would say that more stems for the college scene, at least from our own personal experiences. So I want to put that disclaimer out there.
Agreed. Although there's something to be said for all the people who've played on club that have brought their significant others to Summer League and made them learn how to play as well. Which is, where my poll questions came from.
Yes.
So, feel free to weigh in retroactively because this is a very entertaining subject for me. Personally, because Pockets and I, as we'll discuss later, have our own different experiences of dating both within and outside of the community. But the first question that I asked was, would you prefer to date a Frisbee person, given the choice? And the options that I gave were yes, and then it doesn't matter.
Which was poor poll makings. You didn't give a no option.
I didn't think that there would be so many strong votes against, but as our friend Mags, friend of the pod, responded to us, strongly prefer a non-Frisbee person. So that's on me. And then we had 6 people like that message. There might be more.
There were at least 7 strong no's in our poll that only had 45 votes.
Yeah, 45 is pretty good. A pretty solid sample size, I feel like. Interestingly, 58% said yes, so a little over half. I didn't have time to run the exact statistics about whether or not this division is statistically significant. But it felt like Twitter would be a good place to go to, as especially in preparation for Hot Girl Summer, we're seeing a massive spike in horny Frisbee Twitter once again.
the idea of horny Frisbee Twitter has always kind of confused me, and I don't think I've always been in the know with it. Scotty and I were talking recently, and I was scrolling through an old group me, and I think it was like the drive back from spring break.
Yeah.
There were a couple like Ultimate players. They were doing this weird quiz. No, not weird quiz, but it was like your sexuality quadrant, and the 4 quadrants. It was homosexual and heterosexual on opposite ends. I'm assuming then bisexual in the top right corner, right?
And asexual, that kind of makes sense.
And then asexual on the other end. It was kind of like a basic... I was only like... I was 0% homosexual. So sorry to all the women out there that want a piece of this. And then I was only like 75% sexual total, so I'm not just like horny Frisbee Twitter isn't for me. Just gonna put that out there before I rat on it. But yeah, it was like a thing I noticed at the start of quarantine, and now it's coming back now that people don't have to just go outside and touch some grass anymore.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
No.
When people are like being weird on the internet, just go touch some grass.
Oh, get offline.
I'm also like, I'm making myself sound old. Don't reference memes from the internet in real life. Just don't do it.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting kind of sitting, lurking, and watching Frisbee Twitter go down, because I have not really had a big Frisbee Twitter presence at all. I still don't. But it's fun to watch, because there was that one girl on Being Ulti that like had like a crazy horny Frisbee Twitter run. Like I think it was in February. I just remember all the guys on our team were like thirst tweeting back at her. It was like,
well, not all of them, but
just a select vocal minority. And most recently, it's been interesting to see this conversation about how there should be a Frisbee dating app, which I am very entertained by because of my own experience on Tinder. It's like hilarious to see people talking about like limiting it to Ultimate Frisbee, because like, I mean, I guess you could meet people at pickup like in real life, but real life hasn't, been happening for a little while.
Yet.
So, the idea that was thrown out there was calling it mixed, but personally, I was thinking matchup would be a good one.
Ooh.
Like you swipe on the people that you want to pair up with. I know, I'm an entrepreneur. Someone get me on Shark Tank.
I like that name. Yeah, I don't know, because like you were saying, like you could meet people at like pickup and stuff in real life. I feel like if you're there's going to be like a Frisbee dating app, you just go out in the real world and touch some grass.
Pockets is in favor of meeting people in person.
Well, you have like a whole like dating aspect of this. I have been in a 5-year relationship, and over quarantine, I downloaded Bumble BFF in an attempt to make some friends, and it was a horrible experience. The conversations just get so boring. It's like, oh, I like to read. What books do you read? Ooh, this book I've never heard of. Like, cool, thanks. I'm fucking reading Star Wars books right now, so that's how my life is
Bumble
going.
BFF was certainly an interesting experience. I feel like, once again, I'm going to repeat, touch some grass on like making friends. But in terms of dating people from the Frisbee teams, it's funny that Pockets and I have had 2 very different experiences. Like Pockets mentioned, she's been in a 5-year relationship with someone that we played Frisbee with. She is one of the monogamists, one of the couples that everyone seems to want to be. Or at least a lot of girls on the team were always like, oh, they're the cutest couple on the team, because you might have been the only ones. Yeah. But
yeah, I feel like a lot of the freshman women my senior year were like, it's mom and dad. And we're just like barely surviving as adults.
Honestly, you guys are my mom and dad also. I'm your gremlin child.
Yeah, probably. It helps that you're like a whole 2 heads smaller than my boyfriend.
Yep. And on the other side of the coin, I have both dated within and outside of the Frisbee community, which is interesting, to say the least. I think talking about trying out for mixed club teams with a boyfriend is always interesting, because I think one of the biggest dividers there is the fact that most teams need girls. It seems like it might be easier to make a mixed team as a girl.
Yeah, funny that you mentioned trying out for a mixed team with your boyfriend, because that's exactly what I did now 2 summers ago. Sponge and I were both on Peep Show. But yeah, like you said, like Peep Show was looking for more women matching players because what's the word? There were just more men there in the area trying out. So it was like easier. Also, the team already knew me, but it was easier for me to try out than for him, because I'm a more valuable asset when the women numbers.
And I mean, I think in general, there's usually going to be a bit of a gender skew in terms of like a non-cut sports team. I feel like, I mean, at Lehigh, it was not very evenly split until my junior year, your senior year, when we brought in so many girls that we then split into A and B the next year, which was phenomenal. But it's just interesting to see like how those dynamics shift and how the conversations tend to like rotate around who has a crush on who on the team and all that type of drama.
Well, you say that. It was either me just being an aloof idiot or me being in such a long-term relationship. I felt like I was either never hearing about all the like relationship stuff, or I was getting it like weeks after it happened. Or maybe I'm just like a normal person that don't have all the drama.
It was definitely my job to keep you up to date, I feel like. However, one thing that I do want to mention before, without getting too deep into it, is especially in terms of college, I feel like a lot of these like relationships are very like in a very high alcohol environment, and that can get a little bit stressy. And definitely make sure that you've got like your crew looking out for you and some friends, because you know it can get a little scary, especially when people get like really drunk. Especially competitive with drinking games, but go ahead.
I was going to just add like 2 things to that. Like one, like I think there's also a little bit of letting your guard down, because you're kind of like, oh, I'm with my team. Nothing's going to happen to me. But like things still can happen. Like you said, with alcohol involved too, kind of on a happier note. My boyfriend and I had, I think, like a very untraditional way of meeting in college, or starting to date in college, because what's the story here? He and I were at not a party. It was like a 10-person strange gathering in a basement, because for some reason nobody was like down to hang out that night. So we were hanging out. Like I did the classic like take his hat. Ooh, we're fighting over the music. Ooh. And then I was like, oh, you should play Mario Kart with me and my 2 friends someday. That would be so cool. He's like, yeah, that would be so cool. Let's like trade numbers and blah, 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 blah. All the annoying stuff that people do. And so that was sometime on the weekend. We had set up the Mario Kart for Wednesday or Thursday the following week. On like Tuesday, he texted me, oh, I have mono. We hadn't touched or anything. Not touching. But so because he had mono, we just kind of like talked, went to dinner together in the dining hall, like hung out, and had like a friendship before we started dating. And he and I both like look back on that so fondly, because it was just kind of like a nice, easy way to get into a relationship. And I feel like that doesn't always happen when you're in college. Or even in the real world, too.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of value in getting to know someone, and it's kind of hard to get to know people at a party before like anything else crazy happens.
Yeah.
That's really nice though. I am a big like proponent of like being friends before you date. And I think also like one big thing that I want to take away from this is like your friends, like your platonic friends, are just as important as your relationships, because honestly, Pockets has been there for me through, I think, like 2 heartbreaks, and that means more to me than like any boyfriend ever will. So, that's a bit of a divergent from like,
fuck you know who you are.
He'll listen to this and be upset. But it's just like really nice to have a support system throughout college. And if that's a boyfriend, that's great. But it's also, you know, so good to have so many different people in your corner. However, the main point of this podcast, quick segue from my little sappy moment, is that I made a Frisbee Tinder. And like I said, this idea was spawned out of noticing that having Frisbee in my bio on my real Tinder when I was on Tinder, not with the intention to meet people, but it ended up that way, more to judge people based off of material metrics. A lot of guys really thought it was cool that I played Frisbee. And they asked me to go like throw a disc with them, and it was a pandemic, and I really was using that to not meet up with people. But I got a lot of interest in the whole Frisbee thing. So I wanted to see what people could come up with in terms of pickup lines to interest me. And this was one of the like weirdest research things I've done. But we've had these pickup lines for a while. I have 30, and Pockets has not heard any of them. So she's going to help me rate based off of the pickup line alone, whether it's any good.
Yeah, Scotty put in big red text, do not scroll past this in our little document planning.
And you've been good. You haven't given into curiosity. So I'm excited. So, to start off, my bio, or to recap from my intro, my bio was hit me with your best ultimate pickup line. Forgetting that to most people, ultimate is like the best, the greatest, like that type of thing. Yes.
An adjective.
Not describing Frisbee. So, a lot of people hit me with stuff like, if you had to pick a conspiracy theory to believe in, what would it be? And I was like, that is a fantastic pickup line, because I immediately want to continue to talk to you and hear what your conspiracy theory is, because you definitely have a wild one that I have not heard. So I liked that ultimate pickup line, but it wasn't disc related. Let's see. Someone else said, ultimate pickup line? Are you my sleep? Because I can't get enough of you. Are you my coffee? Because you're the first thing I need in the morning. Either of these working? How about if I say you're really cute?
Boo.
Someone else also did not understand the assignment.
Those are all fucking lame. Sounds fucking lame. I'm hating on these people. I haven't had to be in the dating scene in so long. And even when I was,
the whole point of Tinder is to get bad pickup lines and also screenshot profiles to send to your friends. So you are more than welcome to hate on people. Because we also I don't even remember who sent me these. I deleted my Tinder so long ago. I only had it for this one research thing. 2 people sent me, well, here I am. What are your other 2 wishes? So by now I've realized that I do not want that people are not reading. They're not understanding the assignment. So I have to add Frisbee into my bio, ultimate Frisbee pickup line. So more people knew about Frisbee from my area than I thought. And some of them got really creative, such as, being with you, I'm going to be shouting disc up all night. Which is a fun and funky dick
not
joke.
Bad.
Because if you slur it, you know, you sound like...
Yeah.
But it's not bad. Like, he knows...
Dick.
He has an idea of how to play the game, you know? I liked this one. It took me some critical reading for me to get this one. I see that you play Ultimate Frisbee. Maybe we can get dinner and play Ultimate Frisky.
That took you some critical reading skills?
Because I had to say it out loud, and I did not say it out loud the first 3 times I read it. I was like, what is this word he's trying to send me? And I said it out loud, and it was funny. We've got some more people that have some knowledge of Frisbee. I must be a cutter because I'm catching feelings. which he followed up with,
Oh,
I have no...
That's my
Yeah,
favorite
isn't that
so
good?
far.
He said, I have no further knowledge of Ultimate Frisbee except for handler and cutter, but pretty good. Pretty good for...
Some people don't
Exactly.
even know that, so that's pretty good.
3 separate people sent me, you must be a cutter because you're too hot to handle.
I think that's one of the ones, remember, they were probably circling around a few years ago where someone put, like, Frisbee Valentine images on Twitter. That's probably one of those. Cute, but...
Understood the assignment, but, you know, you can easily Google that.
Was just trying to pass the class.
The next one was, hey there, it's funny, I used to play, and I can't come up with nothing. So...
You can't
clearly
come up with nothing.
English grammar is not there.
It's not there.
But he thought, he tried, you know? It was there.
At least he's like, hey.
He shot his shot.
I play. He's the guy sitting in the back of the class. I'm making now class terminologies.
I like this. I like the classroom analogies. Next we have, I'm catching everything you throw back at me. Which, original. I haven't heard that before. Props. And I guess, you know, the general Frisbee catching and throwing, it's pretty good.
I mean, any sport you can catch, though. That's just a general... Oh, no. Actually, I'm taking back. I don't like this one as much, because this could fit in for any sport. I'm catching anything you throw at me. Okay, no. Goodbye.
Quit stalling. You can violate my disk space any day. He did.
Used the terms. He used terms.
And he knew what they meant. He used a glossary.
Yeah.
He got 2 terms. That's more than anyone else so far. So,
wow.
I don't know. As far as, like, weird sexual innuendos, don't love those for pickup lines, but I did ask for a pickup line, so he did the assignment.
Yeah.
Next we have, hey Scotty, how's it going? I love Frisbee, but I never played on a team. To which I said, in my head, because I didn't really respond to any of these, what do I say to that? How do I respond? Where do I go with this conversation? You know? How do you know you love Frisbee?
Yeah.
So, this one left me more questions than responses. Number 12 said, I've been over here, I'm saying number 12 because that's what it says on the list. I've been over here stressing about a pickup line for like a week, when in all reality, you're looking for an Ultimate Frisbee related one. Meanwhile, who the F in the world has one of those? LOL.
Who waits a week to write to you? If you don't have it, just give up and say hi.
You'd think, you know?
Also, he couldn't come up with anything after a week? Even just use a general
just like Google,
one.
and then like who says that? Like, you can ignore my request more than like insulting my request. So he gets a 0 out of 10. No stars.
Yeah, he's getting kicked out of university. Boom. Classroom analogy.
Next we have, are you DTF? Down to flick, of course.
That's another one of the ones that I think was circling like Twitter, the Valentine's ones. But I like it.
It uses the
it's
terms.
good.
It demonstrates knowledge of the sport.
We're really like rating these. We're doing like, oh my God. This is a little off topic, but towards the beginning of quarantine, I sent a message to like some of our friends and stuff. Because on TikTok, they were doing that like PowerPoint trend.
I was
remember that. For people that don't know, you are a participant. For people that don't know, there's this trend where people just like make a PowerPoint about anything, and they have a PowerPoint night with their friends, and everyone does their PowerPoint presentations for each other. Well, I set that up one night in quarantine because COVID was rough. Being home alone, yeah. There's not much else to do. And I created my own rubric for it, like 1 through 4 or whatever. And I wrote even like student demonstrated limited lack of blah, 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 blah. And that sounds
We should have made a rubric for this. Live and learn. Guess I gotta make another Tinder when I get to New York. All right. Next pickup line. We have, I was trying to think of an ultimate Frisbee pickup line, but I think this situation is more like disc golf. Like, it's kind of surprising how compact this thing is, and what? Am I supposed to put it in there?
It was an okay idea, and it was an okay execution, but I feel slightly creeped out by it.
Yeah, same. Like, the idea, like you said, the idea was there. Curious. Anyway, you play Ultimate? Do you know of any pickup games in the area?
Sir.
So he really hit me with a pickup line. Because he wanted to play Frisbee with me.
Sir, it's a pandemic, sir. There's no Frisbee, sir. Also, it's February, right? In upstate New York?
Yeah.
Sir, yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, there definitely wouldn't have been any indoor.
Just tromping around in the snow? No.
Next we have You Make My Heart Fast Count.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Okay. I feel like we're doing that thing. I feel bad for just the audio-only listeners. We're doing that thing where you make, like, the frowny, like
the face.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you ever hear us pause, that's the face that we're making.
We're thinking. Next we have Hey with 2 Y's. I don't have a Frisbee, sorry, ... but I do have something else you can catch.
0 out of 10.
Winky face.
Is he gonna throw his dick at you? Is that what he's insinuating?
Is he gonna catch these hands?
Yeah,
he might catch these hands for that, like, weird joke. Like, weird, horrible joke. So, I felt like I needed a shower after that one. I like Frisbee, but I've never even heard a pickup line about it. He didn't try.
He didn't want to come up with one.
He didn't want to impress me. I feel offended, but you know what? He likes Frisbee, so what can you do? We have wouldn't want to catch anything other than you, which is okay, but then you consider during a national internet pandemic implies international. During a pandemic, catch jokes are a little on the nose, don't you think?
Also on a dating app, STD jokes. He's got a twofer.
Well, and he wants to catch my Frisbee.
Your heart.
My heart. We have some real smooth talker over here telling me, you can be my Frisbee. You keep getting thrown around by guys who don't know what they're doing, but you come to me if you want to score. And I was like...
there's so many problems with that analogy. One, you want the Frisbee to be tossed around by a lot of guys. Two, like, if it's thrown to you, like, yeah, you caught it for the goal, but you only did half the work, if even. What about the guy throwing the assist? He wants to have an orgy with you. That's
3. Yes, 3. The implication of me spending all my time, wasting my time going to all these different guys that are not worth it. He doesn't know me. He knows my swag, not my story.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
But, like, in a way that we don't like him. Not that I would find him to go score. You know?
He's gonna catch these hands.
Next we have, I'm as bad at flirting as I am at Frisbee.
Congrats, dude. You suck at 2 things.
Like, what redeeming factors do you have? You started off with, like, 2 negatives there, homie.
You want a participation trophy? No. Next.
Well, next is, I don't have an ultimate Frisbee pickup line, but hey, tons of heart eyes.
Okay, goodbye.
Heart eye emojis.
Boring.
I was like, thank you. Thank you. I did, like, make my Tinder a little bit of a thirst trap with the intention of, you know, drawing as many matches in to make them, like, just up the number of pickup lines that I got, or possibility I'd get pickup lines, but guess I'll just take the compliment. I don't know. Let's see. Normally, you're supposed to have a disk space between each other, but how about we make an exception? And then when I didn't respond, he followed up with, how does 6 feet apart sound?
We got a socially distanced king over here. We got someone that didn't use the word violation in a pickup line. I'm still thinking back to that one guy. He was like, let me violate you as a pickup line. That's gross.
Ew. Well, that's Tinder for you. We had 2 people tell me that I am their idea of a dangerous play. I don't know what danger I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah,
but
that's an okay one. It's like they open
what danger they're planning on doing to me.
They open the Frisbee rulebook, and they're like, oh, this one sounds flirty. And then went with it.
It's a medium, you know? Let's see. I don't know much about Frisbee, but you're the best catch I've ever made.
I feel like that one was used before, right?
We've got a lot of catch jokes. We've got a lot of like, I want to catch you, you can catch me. If I catch you, I'll score. But yeah, a lot of catching jokes, you know? Let's see. I don't know any Ultimate Frisbee pickup lines. I usually just wing it and hope you catch on.
Oh, you want to know what he could have said? I usually just chicken wing it. And then that's my impression.
And I mean, like, wing is a position.
That too, but that's like, eh.
Yeah, I really don't know how many layers of joke this guy was going for. But he had catch too. We should have been counting the number of catches in here.
Drink every time and then just black out at the end of it.
I don't know if we would make it through all the pickup lines. All right. So this next one I actually responded to because this was when I started the project. I decided to be very drunk for it. And I was like getting a bunch of responses because I was swiping right on every single person. And this guy sent me, don't waste this match because the moment you let me fly away, I won't be coming back around. And I was like on my 3rd glass of Pinot Noir that night.
Why were you drinking wine?
Because that's all my mom buys. Okay. And I wasn't about to buy my own alcohol. So I read this and the little emo in me read coming back around and immediately thought Green Day, When I Come Around, which is a song. And I don't know why my brain made that connection, but I don't know where drunk Scotty goes because she's a crazy person. So
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know. So I responded to this guy and I said, is that a Green Day reference? And he said, LMAO, no, it's my attempt at an Ultimate Frisbee pickup line. And then I did not respond.
Cool.
So I feel bad for the guy. He tried. I got confused. All around a mess. Sorry, homie. Wish I could have done better by you. It's a better one than violate your disk space. So
yeah, that one goes in the bad bin. Couldn't think of a better term for that.
So next we have call me a great Frisbee play because I'm an absolute catch.
He was kind of there. He should have done, like, call me, like, an absolute Frisbee play, because I'm the greatest.
Yeah, the greatest is like great.
Because just in a catch, huh?
Yeah. And, like, it's another catch joke, so drink. And lastly is my favorite. I guess technically I only had 29 if you guys are keeping track, but I can make one up to get us to 30.
I can't count, so.
Math is hard. This guy messaged me, Ultimate Frisbee, ... What the hell is an Ultimate Frisbee? LMAO. And I was like, why are you so angry? I did not respond. But when I did not respond, he got upset that I did not respond. So he had to follow up and say, do I die if I lose? Is it like Mortal Kombat or nah? LMAO, I need some lessons. And I was like, with an attitude like that, I'm not going to teach you. I'm not going to entertain explaining to you what Ultimate Frisbee is. Because you came in angry and upset. And I don't like that energy.
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of people have the issue with, like, a lot of Frisbee players have an issue with the name Ultimate. Because it does kind of make it sound a little bit, like, pretentious. Also, like, something you play in middle school gym class at the same time.
The ultimate.
And then when we just call it ultimate, because like Frisbee is a trademark term, actually. Like it's the Frisbee is a type of disc. Like,
Yep. Well,
this is what they talk about on Deep Look. They get really into it. They want to call it Disc Sevens.
which is not catchy. Sorry, Charlie. But to that end, like, to your point, that is the issue that I ran into, and I was like, oh, if I just call it, like, ultimate pickup line. People got confused. They hit me with their ultimate pickup lines. And I don't know. I think pickup line in the definition, it isn't very good, but.
Yeah. We should just go the disc golf route and call it, like, disc basketball, disc soccer. Every other sport you can run with the ball, except for, like, kind of basketball.
Well, renaming Ultimate Frisbee is beyond the scope of our dating episode.
No, let's do it now. Yeah,
let's change it. All these pickup lines have inspired pockets.
Out of all the pickup lines, that one towards the beginning, that was the cutter one. I forget what it was.
I must be a cutter because I'm catching feelings.
Yes, that was my favorite. Kudos to that guy. You should be dating him now. Just kidding. But
it's okay.
Props to that guy. If for some reason you're out there, random dude from upstate New York, hit us up.
Who does not play Frisbee, so I don't know how you would find this podcast.
You inspired him. He was like, this girl's so hot. Her Tinder's so cool. She didn't respond to my pickup line. I have to find her by doing the only thing I know about her, which is playing Frisbee.
Good thing I'm moving.
Yeah.
But that's what I've got for pickup lines. And my fun time on Ultimate Tinder. Well, using my Tinder as Ultimate Frisbee. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it's definitely interesting to see how people react to it being a niche interest, opposed to, the whole cult of Ultimate Frisbee wanting to stay within themselves.
Yeah. Speaking of it being a niche interest, like pickup has started again, not to get off track.
No, you're good.
But they do the thing where it's like, say your name and a fun fact about yourself. My fun fact is that I play Frisbee. And I'm not going to be walking up and be like, I have a podcast with Ultiworld. Pay attention to me. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to be like, I am important. I'm an important Frisbee personality.
When in reality,
so I'm just like, I have a cat. That's my fun fact.
We need to get you, like, one fun fact that is not Frisbee related.
I don't do anything. I'm boring.
I was going to say you have a podcast, but we already ruled that one out.
I'm not telling people I have a podcast. That's, like, the most obnoxious thing that you can do.
Oh, no. It's a struggle out here, guys. Yeah. However,
I think my voice is important. Sorry.
Speaking of being an Ultimate Frisbee personality, you guys out there that listen to this, if you have any better Ultimate Frisbee pickup lines, hit me up. I'm responsive to pickup. Well, by responsive, I want to hear them. I'm entertained by them. I don't.
Scotty's a taken lady now.
But my relationship status aside, I want to hear more creative stuff, and I bet that people that actually play Ultimate have some really good ones. Then maybe if we make this Ultimate Frisbee dating app, you can use them there. Really impress people. Also, if you want to talk to me about starting up this dating app, I got no coding experience, but I got a name. That's all I got.
I can do basic Java. Woohoo!
What else? Is there anything else in terms of the whole Ultimate Frisbee dating experience and interest that we wanted to cover?
No, like I touched on, I've been in a relationship for 5 years. It's been nice. It's been easy, breezy, beautiful, cover girl. No, but I'm one of the people that is strong on the. It's nice to date someone that plays Frisbee, and if I didn't date someone that played Frisbee, I tried to get them to play, just because I like sharing common interests with my partner. But I understand the other side of the coin, where you want to have your own thing.
Well, actually, that was the other laying it out poll. Thanks for bringing it up. If you dated someone outside the community, this response got 30. This got 30 responses. Would you teach them how to play? 27%
and it was
said yes, and only 70.
Yeah, it was a strong no,
which is interesting because, I mean, just thinking about the adults. I guess we're kind of adults now, but not really. But that we're adults in air quotes.
We're 23. We can almost fucking rent a car.
But there were like people that were married on our club Frisbee team, and a lot of them both sides played Frisbee. So, or got their significant other to summer league and all that. So, if I should get my boyfriend to come to Wildwood, we'll see. He's not.
Wildwood is probably the worst first Frisbee experience you could ever have, unless you're like a crazy type of person and you love just like getting wasted in the sand and running around after a piece of plastic that you really don't understand and getting.
Well, the pros of Wildwood
enroped in
are
weird.
That the rules aren't as tight. So, like, all I'd have to be is, if you catch it, don't move. Just give it back to me.
I've gotten into some verbal, maybe not altercations. I've had words with people at Wildwood about rules and such. Not me enforcing them, but them enforcing them on me. And then me being like, nah.
I've had too many
You can't
years
tell me
for
what
this.
to do. Yeah. Sophomore year Pockets didn't understand that you can't contest a travel call.
No.
I was a big asshole to a lot of people because of that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, this minor tangent aside.
I think that wraps up.
Yes.
What we wanted to talk about dating in the Frisbee world.
And next time we see you guys, I think we'll both be Pockets is going to be in New York with me, and we'll record there. So,
yeah. For anyone watching the video version of this, I'm finally back in my own apartment. We have the classic little Frisbee wall behind me, and then now Scotty is the one in a different room.
All my stuff's packed up. I moved to New York in 2 days, and at the time of recording this, I will be in New York by the time it comes out. So I'm in my parents' room. This is where I've chosen to record, but big exciting things are coming. Thought we'd give you guys like a fun episode to kick off Hot Girl Summer. Maybe a little bit of Carrie Bradshaw action, because that she would have a podcast instead of writing a column for Sex in the City.
She would have a podcast.
Until then.
Right now we're going to take a break. But before that, a word from our anti-sponsor for the first time in this podcast history. By that, I mean, my boyfriend had a bad experience trying to park in New York City, and he wants to rant about it. So we're letting him come on.
Thanks, Pockets and Scotty. This week's episode of Laying It Out is brought to you by parking in New York City. If you've ever wanted to be an idiot like me and reserve parking at a destination before arriving there through a third-party app, then listen to my advice. Now, the other night, Pockets and I were planning a trip to New York City to see the Brooklyn Nets play the Boston Celtics at Barclays Center for the first round of the NBA playoffs. But we didn't want to deal with public transportation from my hometown to the arena. So we decided to use this incredible, unbelievable new app for iOS and Android called ParkShit. With ParkShit, we were able to browse through all of the unaffiliated parking garages near the area to see where we had the greatest chance of getting scammed out of the lowest dollar amount. We selected a garage a few blocks away for around $20, which is a pretty good price. But when we got there, the truly excellent garage attendant not only audibly grimaced at the fact that we reserved using ParkShit, he also told us that we were at the wrong address than the one that was booked on our phone. Of course, like a couple of dumbasses on a time constraint, we decided to look around for a different parking garage that didn't exist for about 15 minutes before realizing we had been scammed and lied to. In the end, we settled for a closer garage that cost $45. So, if you want to try ParkShit, use promo code LAYITOUT at checkout to add an additional 50% to your parking expenses. It really helps the show. That's LAYITOUT. Thanks to ParkShit for sponsoring this episode and ruining my night. Back to you, Polkin Scott.
All right, welcome back, listeners. Thank you, Sponge, for that insightful rant. To finish out today's episode, we just kind of wanted to talk about our personal return to play activities, because one of us, ching 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 me over here, has actually gotten to play in 2021. Yeah. So, I guess my experience as of the recording of this, I have played 3 games of Ultimate since the pandemic shut everything down. I've done 2 games of pickup in the Philly area. They're having a Philly women's pickup, which has been a lot of fun. I think I tweeted out after my first game of playing, in all caps, I didn't puke. The story behind that being the last time that I had played Ultimate in 2020, I had vomited because I ran too hard.
A classic blunder.
Yeah. My brother and I, our classic move is just vomiting because we tried too hard in like gym class or something. I think it was, he's 3 grades below me, so we were in high school together, and during the pacer test his freshman year, I guess he was the best in the gym class, but then he also vomited at the end of it, and then everyone in the school had to tell me about it.
It's really funny you say that, and this is totally off topic, but I guess it's kind of in theme for a dating episode. I did that. I tried too hard in my 9th grade PE class, and I ran way too fast for the 100-meter dash because we were doing the track unit. And my stomach hurt afterwards, and I went to my bio class, which was the next period, and my friend was like, dude, you should either go to the nurse, you look like shit, you look like you're gonna die. Apparently I was green, and I looked like I was about to throw up, and I was like, I feel like I'm about to throw up, but no, I'm not gonna miss class. So I sit down in bio class, and relevant to the story is the fact that the kid I sat next to in my bio class, I had a big crush on. He was the first kid that I had a real crush on. And I was like, oh man, I feel pretty bad. And I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And he was like, oh, don't throw up on me. So of course I did. Technically, I guess I threw up on my binder, which was in front of me, and he claims that I got some on him, and he called me pukey for the rest of the year, and I stopped liking him pretty shortly after that. The relationship did not pan out, but I've been there.
Oh no. Well, luckily I didn't have that experience this year. Hopefully you also won't vomit this year. It's a fun year. 2021's a year of no puking. Okay?
No puke 2021.
But yeah, I've played 3 games of Ultimate. Philly has been having a women's pickup every Tuesday, which I've been going to, and it's been a lot of fun. I was getting my ass whooped, though, by some AMP players. There's also someone wearing a Molly Brown, like, tank top there, so I'm assuming they're on the team. I got my ass whooped. But it's been fun. And, I've been trying a little bit of handling. I'm usually a cutter, but out of shape.
We love to see growth.
And then, yeah. And then my favorite Frisbee that I've gotten to play this year, my good old friends in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, the Lehigh Valley Ultimate League. I unfortunately can't play because it's like an hour drive 2 times a week. So I didn't sign up. They have a pickup list. So I signed up whenever someone needs a woman matching player. I just ping them. And so that's what I did yesterday. It was a lot of fun. I got to see some old friends run around on the Frisbee field. And the best part about it, the team that I was picking up with was playing the Lehigh undergrads that day. Yeah, we beat them. Suck it.
Oh, it feels weird to be old and be celebrating beating people that we were playing with.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
It is what it is. Yeah, that's great. I'm like so excited for you, and it's great to see that like you're taking the initiative to go to pickup, because that's definitely gonna like give me the motivation to go myself. Like, obviously, we talked enough about me moving to New York. I've signed up for 2 club team tryouts. Unlimited Swipes, which is a mixed team, and Dino, and we'll see. That's just an all women's, and we'll see how that goes. I'm a little nervous about navigating public transportation. I'm also a little nervous about thinking I'm better than I am and like absolutely sucking, because I have not been like working out much at all lately. But hey.
Well, I think if it's anything like the experience I had, everyone's just going to be so happy to be out there.
Yeah.
They're not really going to be caring, 1, what you're doing. And then 2, they're probably not at their peak performance right now either. So
yeah, and that's like I'm taking solace in that fact, because I was also listening to the Sin the Fields episode, the most recent one, Sin the Fields episode, and Pat was talking about how that's like literally exactly how it is in Brooklyn, which I might end up picking up there. So we'll see how my how it goes for that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's exciting to see like the world opening up again, and like Frisbee is back.
It actually is. Like, teams are, I think every Philly team, I don't want to say every Philly team. I think there's just a women's opens and mix, just one of each. But they've all, the ones that I know of, have sent out tryout dates and such.
Yeah.
So it's coming back. It's exciting.
I'm so excited to play Frisbee again. I think it's like almost to the point where I've like forgotten that I missed it, because like I just don't remember playing it. So I'm excited too.
On the drive there, every 3 times that I've gone, my heart has been racing because of excitement. Like, I'm literally like, I have my little Fitbit on and I'm checking it while I'm driving. It's hitting like 20 beats higher than it normally is at my resting rate. And I'm just amped. I have like butterflies in my stomach. And it's not even like, it's like that, like, I'm about to go to prom, or I'm about to see someone I haven't seen in forever, or some big event. And I'm just so excited to be going back.
I'm so glad.
And it's
You're like a puppy.
It is.
Yeah.
But are we gonna try some pickup when we're in New York?
If you want, I would definitely be a lot more confident if you were there. So I will keep you updated on, where, if I figure out where it is and all that good stuff. So keep an eye out for me in pockets in New York City next week.
Yeah.
Moving in, moving up, moving out.
I'm terrified of cities. I don't do well in crowded, large spaces, so we will see.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, no, I would do pickup with you. I'll even do that lame thing, like I'll be your mother and be like, "Oh, sweetie, let's practice the route to practice." Like, take you on the bus wherever the tryouts
like
are going to be.
Practicing waking up early.
Like, you're going to get off at this stop, okay?
Perfect. I need that type of support in my life.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all we have for laying it out. We will catch you guys in New York City. I'm moving out of Albany, New York, finally. Very exciting. And hopefully I'll have some Frisbee under my belts and you guys will too. Pockets is leading the charge for this podcast. So.
Never been done before. I usually wait for Scotty to do things. And then I also usually wait for Scotty to make friends. And then I slide on in there.
I'll make friends when you come visit me. They'll be our friends. It's perfect. Sweet. All right. So in case you forgot, for this episode, I've been Scotty Dempsey.
I'm Chelsea Pocket.
And we'll catch you on the flip. If I learned anything from college, it's that no one really knows what they're doing and everyone is making it up as they go along. The value of a team, ultimate or otherwise, is immeasurable. I would not have gotten through college if it was not for my support system. And as for Frisbee, well, it's great to have someone with such a major common interest. In my experience, boyfriends will come and go. Without my friends, I truly would not have gotten through college successfully. They're the ones that will pick you up when you're down and always be there for the good times as well. If you're lucky, a boyfriend or girlfriend can become a part of that team. At the end of the day, we're all just looking for a throwing partner.